anniversary since the founding of OAU on the 25th of May 1963. Africa today is free, and it is free because we managed to shake off the yoke of slavery, colonialism, and apartheid. This was made possible not only through the sacrifices and bravery of African freedom fighters, but with the help and solidarity of international community. However, while we have cause to celebrate and feel proud of our collective achievement, we are deeply aware that our brothers and sisters of Palestine are not yet free. It is therefore only apt that we should meet in the capital city of the African Union to show our solidarity and consider the dream of a free, independent, and viable state of Palestine. Chairperson, South Africa supports international efforts aimed at establishment of a viable Palestinian state, existing side by side in peace with Israel within the international recognized borders, based on those existing on 4th June 1967, prior to the outbreak of the 1967 Arab-Israeli War, with East Jerusalem as its capital. This meeting, now in its second day, has witnessed wide-ranging intervention and a rich debate with speakers who have related to the efforts by the UN through the committee and what other international initiatives of solidarity and support, such as the non-aligned movement, are taking place in order to try to find solutions to the current stalemate and untenable situation in Palestine. Speakers have described in detail their everyday experience from the occupied territories and the sad state of underdevelopment, economic decline, the impact on children, and cruel subjugation to acts of oppression by the Israeli military and also by the settlers. The war has been identified as the key future bone of contention that will dominate discussions and harden positions on both sides. Security fears on both sides have been pointed out. Another speaker also outlined with great clarity the illegal nature of the Israeli occupation and called states to wake up and insist that international law is no longer flagrantly violated by the government of Prime Minister Netanyahu. You have heard the view of experienced senior members of the Palestinian Authority and representatives of PLO. We've also had creative proposals interestingly, by former Israeli ambassador to South Africa, such as a call for an African peace initiative to echo existing peace initiatives by African states and little-known peace movements in Israel itself. A former freedom fighter, Mr. Kalomo from Namibia, has looked at parallels between Palestine's quest for freedom and our own epic struggle against apartheid. He urged unity between Palestinians as a first step for Palestine to negotiate its way to full statehood. We add our voice to that view. Chairperson, while I'm aware that my intervention comes well into this meeting and follows these profound and relevant considerations, allow me to outline a few areas from a South African perspective that may in some way add to and enrich the outcomes of this meeting. South Africa remains deeply concerned about Israel's settlement expansion, especially in East Jerusalem. The South African government has, on various occasions, called on Israel to abandon all settlement activities as it is illegal under international law. A two-state solution to the conflict is under continuous threat as Israeli settlement activity in the West Bank continues to make separation of both peoples in the two states increasingly difficult. Essentially, the Israeli settlement activities are confiscating Palestinian territory essential for future state and seek to isolate East Jerusalem from other main Palestinian cities. The halting of settlement constructions is seen by the South African government as a commitment already agreed to by Israel during preceding peace negotiations, including at the Annapolis International Middle East Conference, which took place in November 2007, in which South Africa participated. During the NAM ministerial meeting in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, 10 May 2012, South Africa re-emphasized its unwavering commitment to and called for the recognition of the Palestinian state. Israel should immediately stop its settlement activities as an obligation under various UN Security Council resolutions and international law. With regard to the continuing violence, South Africa reiterates its condemnation of all acts of violence, regardless of where it comes from, as it undermines the viability of the two-state solution. We are especially concerned by the continuing violence perpetrated by Israeli settlers against Palestinians and their property, including the uprooting of olive trees, assaulting and firing on Palestinians, the demolition of Palestinian homes, mosques, churches, and cemeteries. We urged the Israeli authorities on many occasions to take action against the perpetrators of such acts of aggression. Chairperson, South Africa is passionate about the cause of Palestine because only 19 years ago, the majority of South Africans were not free. They could not vote and were subjected to discrimination and oppression by the minority apartheid rulers. Our experience of dialogue and negotiations with our political opponents is one that is hard and painful, but we reap the fruits of freedom and reconciliation. We have a story to tell that we could share with our brothers and sisters in Palestine. South Africa, following the birth of the democratic state in 1994, worked to build up a strong civil service that could support the implementation of government priorities. We are willing to share some of these experiences with the people of Palestine. Chairperson, while neither we nor the best international mediation efforts have yet managed to resolve the critical situation that is the case of Palestine today, South Africa believes that unity between Fatah and Hamas is a critical aspect for the future of Palestine. South Africa has, on many occasions, urged the two sides to reinforce their efforts towards reconciliation. In the absence of a united Palestine and Palestinian leadership, an independent Palestine will not be easy to achieve. In South Africa's own experience, unity played a key role in achieving its goal of a free and a fair South Africa. South Africa believes that holding a broad-based Palestinian election that involves both Gaza and West Bank is crucial and was one of the agreed outcomes of the 2012 reconciliation talks in Doha. The outcome would bring about a new and a strengthened mandate for negotiations with Israel. In this regard, the appointment of Moez Levy as the Minister of Justice in the new coalition government of Prime Minister Netanyahu could be an important move. Her appointment was described by President Abbas as a positive development. Palestine should now put pressure, we believe, on Israel to return to the negotiating table. Finally, dear Chairperson, as we Africans prepare to celebrate our freedom in the context of our Golden Jubilee, let us not forget the fate of our Palestinian friends, that their path to freedom must still be negotiated and walked. Once more, we welcome this initiative, and it is in line with the debate of the Assembly in January 2013 that found that we should move beyond talk and towards more concrete actions to strengthen the quest for freedom and independence for the Palestinian people. I thank you, Mr. Chair.